So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below.
What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Zephyr War Games, and as you can tell by the title, I'm bringing a very interesting take on rockets today, and that is orcust rockets. Now this is a take that I haven't seen anyone do, and I think it's a very strong build and a very good build in terms of like a budget take on a competitive rocket deck. Because with the guard dragons, like, yeah, they're very powerful, but I do notice that they do lose to Nibiru quite easily. Now, I know that's not a reason why to not play guard dragons. They're still, again, very powerful. But if you do get Nibiru, which you will do most likely games 2 and 3, you're gonna have a tough time coming back into the game, because a lot of your extra gets used for that combo. And so you haven't got that much of a follow-up play that isn't just try to make bowl sword and push for game. So I think with the orcust variant, it takes a lot less out of your extra deck to perform the combo. You end up with a very strong bomber dragon combo at the end going game 1. So you can quickly win your games 1. In games 2, you can then just use what you've got to push for games then. I'm going to show you what I've got at the moment. I'm very enjoying it at the moment, and I think I might stick with this variant for the time being, just because, again, I'm not fearing Nibiru as much as I would do as if I was playing the guard dragon variant. So I'm going to run through the profile, explain some of my card choices, explain a fun tech in the extra deck that you can perform quite well and quite easily in terms of summoning it out. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So starting off with your rocket tracers, you gotta play 3 of this guy. This guy helps you get into your orcust combo, and will extend your orcust combo as well, and even go into your synchro plays. And it also does very well with the double logic bomber as well. Then we're playing 2 Abzerada Dragon. This also gets you into your synchro plays, helps you search your rockets, as well as extend into one of your Xyz plays. So again, get into that in the extra deck. 1 Silver Rocket Dragon, you can still pull this guy off quite easily, to be honest. So playing the 1 is not bad. 2 Magna Rocket Dragons, 1 Auto Rocket Dragon, and 1 Anis Rocket Dragon. I am playing the original trio. Magna Rocket Dragon you have to play because the ability to pop monsters when targeted is very powerful. Same with Auto Rocket for back row. But I do like the 1 Anis Rocket Dragon just because the effect negation is actually pretty strong, and I think a lot of people overlook that. Being able to just stop a monster effect on the field just by targeting him is pretty good. And 1 Rocket Synchron to round up the main rockets. You got to play Rocket Synchron. You search this guy out, and you can normal summon it, revive your Abzerada, and go off into your synchro play. But in this build, you can normal summon this, and if you haven't got the Abzerada in graveyard, but you have a Harp Horror in grave, you can banish the Harp Horror to summon an Orcust Nightmare from your deck, and then you can synchro off that way. So there's many ways to tune with this to get into your Savage Dragon, which is very, very good. And speaking of the Orcust, going into those now, obviously playing the 3 Harp Horror. You want to see this guy in opening hand, especially with your Rocket Tracer. 2 copies of the Orcust Nightmare, 1 copy of Symbol Skeleton, and I'm taking in the 1 copy of the Brass Bombard. Again, just to help you get into your Savage Dragon a lot easier. If you have like an Abzerada and a Rocket on field and a Harp Horror engraved, you can just like banish the Harp Horror, summon this from your deck, and then special summon your Abzerada, and then again you can go into your Savage Dragon. So there's many ways to get into your Savage Dragon in this build, which is very, very good. 1 copy of the Armageddon Knight to round up the Orcust package. It's just a very strong one of. I didn't want to play it at first, but after a while I just put it back into the deck, just because again, if you open with this, it is full Orcust combo, and then you can save your rockets for next turn. I'm taking in again the one Tempest. You don't have to play Tempest, but I think the additional level 7 in the deck is pretty good, especially for again the taking the extra deck. But I am, using the one Tempest. It at worst case it helps you extend and again go into a Savage Dragon. For hand traps, we're playing the 2 Ash Blossom and Joy Springs, and I'm taking in the 1 Rocket Recharger. This is essentially a hand trap. If one of your dark monsters read its effect, there's a level 4 dragon with 2100 defense and 0 attack. If a dark monster you control a special summon from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one of those destroyed monsters. Special summon one dark monster from your graveyard with a different original name from that targeted monster. You can only use this effect of Rocket Recharger once per turn. And while you control a dark monster special summon from the extra deck, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks. You're not really going to use its last effect of protecting itself, but you're going to use this card for if your bomber does get destroyed, you can then special summon this guy out. You can then, discard this card from your hand, revive one of the orcust links in your graveyard, and that way you still have a body on board, so you can revive your Longearsu, and that way you can use Longearsu's effect to send a linked monster to graveyard, so you still have some form of removal. Also, if you have your bomber dragon, you can normal summon your tracer to pop bomber to special summon rocket from your deck. Then you can discard this and then revive orcust link, and then you can go off into a ball or a ball. So there's many different ways you can use this card, and it's very good. So I'm trying it out just to see how it goes. That's it for monsters. Moving on to the spells. We're playing obviously the free quick launch. This card is amazing with the orcust monsters because you can just again normal summon an orcust, play quick launch, summon a rocket from deck, mostly your tracer. Then you can use tracer to pop the orcust, summon a rocket from deck. You can bash the orcust, summon another orcust, and then just go off from there. The plays just get insane. 1 copy of Foolish Burial, 1 copy of Orchestrated Return. We play a lot of orcust monsters, so we can use this to ditch that. Ditch one of them, draw 2 cards, just a little bit of consistency. I am playing a field spell package in the forms of obviously you've got to play the 1 Babel, but I'm playing the 1 Boot Sector Launch and the 1 Terraforming. This way I can get into any field spell I need at any point in time. I do like the 1 Boot Sector Launch. It does help you with some of your combos to help you start off. So if you open up, one of the most powerful hands in this deck I've noticed is that if you open with a Harp Horror, Boot Sector and Tracer, you can end with a Topologic Bomber, Babel, and Tracer still in the field. So that way, now a Tracer is essentially another way to trigger Bomber Dragon before you start using your Orcust monsters to start triggering your Bomber. So you can pop Tracer. Tracer can pop itself to summon a rocket from deck, triggering off Bomber. So that's your first one. Then you can start going into the Orcust to pop to trigger your Bomber. And then on the end phase, Tracer, the rocket that got popped with Bomber summoned off Tracer, can then summon another rocket from deck. So that way you have an additional body on board for your next turn to start linking off and going to further plays. So Boot Sector essentially allowing you to do that other than quick launch as well, is pretty powerful. I'm playing 3 forms of revival spells and forms of Monster Reborn. World Legacy, Succession, and World Legacy Guard Dragon. I'm still trying out the Guard Dragon spell, just because the additional revival and moving around is pretty good. So I'm just trying that card out for now. 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Obviously you don't want to get hand trapped in this deck. And then 1 copy of Dragon's Mirror. I just think this is the best way to summon Furious Dragon. The rocket themed one is pretty good, but I feel like that's good in a more budget build, which you will see later in the channel, where it's your best way to summon Furious, when you're more focused on Furious. And then to round up the main deck, we are playing 2 Orchestrated Crescendo. You play 2 copies because you want to see one of these in your opening hand, essentially, just because then you got more negation. In that way you can just nicely and easily just use your what is it, your Galatea to search your field spell, knowing that you do have a crescendo set. So there's that. That's it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. For the boss monsters, we're playing 1 Ball Dragon, 1 Ball Sword Dragon, and 1 Topologic Bomber Dragon. These are the main ones you're going to need. You can, and I'm thinking of taking in the Orcust Link 4, just because an Orcust Link 4 with the Topologic Bomber is pretty powerful. You got effect negation through the Orcust one, Orcust Link, and then you've got Topologic Bomber for your board wiping. So that is well. But at the moment, I'm just using these 3. I feel like these 3 are all you're going to need. You can, if you do want to invest in it, you can get the Light and Darkness Link. Can't remember its name. Azura, I think, is like the goddess. You can use her as well. For that, I'd probably take out Warlord, unfortunately. But at the moment, these are the only ones I feel like you need. At least to start off with. 1 Triple Burst Dragon. And then for the Orcust links, the 1 Longisu and the 2 Galatea. This is what I'm saying, like the Orcust link, the Orcust variant just relieves so much space in your extra deck. It's just insane, and it's very helpful for the Rocket deck. Because these are essentially all the links that you need to play. Like, the only other links I say you have to play is the Nightmares, but I'll get to those in just a moment. I'm playing in the 1 Booster Dragon and the 1 Quad Bowl Dragon. I want to try out Quad Bowl. I do like Booster Dragon anyway. Like, he only just takes 2 rockets, it's not hard to do. Like, literally tracing anything is essentially a Booster Dragon. And Quad Bowl just helps you for those moments where, like, if you're going second or you're like turn 2 and you just need to remove something, you can just go like Tracer or any rocket, and then the Abzerada, or just any 2 rockets. You can make this guy discard a card, pop that monster, or even better yet, like if they negated your Bomber Dragon, if you have a high link monster on the field, you can then use this to pop that, and then because you pop the link, you get to revive rockets from the graveyard equal to its link rating. So if you have a large amount of rockets in your graveyard, you can start reviving them back and then start going to higher link monsters. So Quad Ball is pretty good for that. I'm just trying him out for now. The only downside is that he takes 2 dragons at the very least. One of them has to be a rocket as well. So you can't use I feel like the only downside to this variant is that your rockets can go into the Orcust monsters, but your Orcust can't really go into the rocket links. So that's the only downside, I think, as part of that. But it only affects these 2 monsters essentially. It doesn't affect your higher link monsters. Obviously, they just take effect monsters, but it only really just affects these 2. But you can get away around that. It's pretty easy to get around that. I'm playing 2 Nightmares in the forms of 1 Nightmare Mermaid. Very gorgeous and secret rares, I really love it. And the 1 Nightmare Phoenix. You can play Cerberus, but you got many ways to remove monsters. Like, monsters are just not a threat to you really essentially at all. It's just back row you just want to get rid of, so that's why you just play the Phoenix. And now for the non-link monsters, obviously you got to play your 1 Lingesu. Luckily he has dropped down to like £20. I just sold one of my copies for that much. So he is a pretty budget monster now, essentially, because you really just need the 1, because you just like reuse and abuse it for your symbols from your symbol skeleton, so you don't really need the second one. And for the spicy take in the deck that I've been like teasing all video, you've probably guessed it now, it is Red Eyes Black Fur Metal Dragon. Like, you can get into this guy pretty easily, considering the Abzerada summons itself once you control a rocket. Harp Hog can summon Nightmare, Orcust Nightmare from your deck pretty easily, as well as reviving it with Symbol Skeleton, and even Brass Bombard being able to just summon it from your hand, and then you've got Nightmare Mermaid as well being able to summon it from deck. Like, there's many ways to get 2 level 7s on board. Tempest as well can summon itself. Like, again, there's just so many ways to get 2 level 7s on board. So being able to make this, you would turn 1 if you can't get into the bomber. Or if you can, you summon this first and then make bomber. You can get pretty good in terms of the burn damage, and even if you're trying to clinch into like games 2 or 3 and times coming in, make this pass turn quickly. And that way, anything your opponent does is going to essentially get you that win. So being able to just make this pretty easily is pretty strong. If you don't want to take this in, you can just take this out very easily. Like, there's no issues there. And then I'll end off the extra deck with the 2 bowls in terms of Savage and Furious. I feel like these are the only ones you do need. The only ones you really need are these 3. And then you can take in the Red Ice Flare, can just be like an additional link monster for you. But that, guys, is the deck. I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below. Let me just get some of these big bosses down here. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, leave your comments down below what you think about it. I think it's a very good build, and especially in terms of like a budget build. This does like relieve a lot of money. Like, it does take a lot less money to build this variant than it does for the Guard Dragon variant, and I think that's pretty good, essentially for rockets and essentially for a competitive deck. So there's that as well. But as always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling.
What's up, YouTube? Dan here from YUGIOH. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, please hit that big thumbs up button in the bottom corner as well. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Make sure you click that notification bell as well so you know every time one of our new videos goes up. Throughout the whole year of 2019, we're going to have more deck profiles, duels, and of course pack openings for you guys to watch and enjoy the entire year round. So stay tuned for more, and as always, guys, happy dueling.